I am going to give you a number right now, and I need you to be sitting down. Because this number, the amount most financial experts say you actually need to retire comfortably in America in 2026, is not $500,000. It is not $750,000. It is not even $1 million. For a truly comfortable retirement, accounting for healthcare, inflation, longevity, and the real cost of actually living, most Americans need somewhere between $1.5 million and $1.8 million US dollars, and the average American has saved approximately $87,000. Let that gap sink in for a moment, because what you do with that gap starting today will determine the quality of every single year of your life after you stop working. Here is what makes this even more alarming. According to a recent Bankrate survey, 60% of Americans believe they need less than $500,000 to retire comfortably. 60%, more than half of all Americans, are planning for a retirement number that is less than 1/3 of what they actually need. They are not just slightly off. They are catastrophically, life-alteringly wrong, and the consequences of that miscalculation, when it is discovered at age 68 or 72 or 75, cannot be undone. You cannot restart compound interest at 72. You cannot go back and contribute to the Roth IRA years you missed. The time is gone, and with it, the retirement that was possible. In this video, I am going to walk you through the exact calculation of how much you really need to retire. Not the oversimplified number that financial magazines put on their covers, the real number built from 6 specific factors that most Americans have never been taught to account for. By the end of this video, you will know your personal retirement number with a level of precision that most Americans never achieve in their entire financial lives. And you will have a specific, actionable plan to reach it, no matter how old you are right now or how much you have saved so far. Stay until factor number 3, because that is the one that most Americans completely ignore when calculating their retirement number. And ignoring it is the primary reason why so many Americans run out of money in their 80s when they still have years left to live and no way to earn more. This factor alone can add $300,000 to $500,000 to the retirement number you need, and almost nobody is planning for it. Let's get into it. How much you really need to retire, and the shocking number most Americans will never see coming. Let me start by showing you exactly where most Americans get their retirement number wrong and why the result is so dangerous. When most Americans think about how much they need to retire, they do a simple calculation. They think about their current monthly expenses. They multiply by 12, and they think about how many years they expect to live in retirement. Maybe 20 years? So they multiply by 20. If they are spending $3,000 a month, they calculate $3,000 times 12 times 20 and arrive at $720,000. That feels like a reasonable number. It might even feel ambitious. And it is catastrophically insufficient. Here is why. The financial planning industry has developed a far more sophisticated framework for calculating retirement needs, one that has been tested against decades of real market data. It is called the 4% rule, derived from what is known as the Trinity study. The research found that a retiree who withdraws no more than 4% of their portfolio in the first year of retirement and adjusts that withdrawal for inflation, each subsequent year has an extremely high probability of their portfolio lasting 30 years. This rule does not tell you to spend down your savings. It tells you to live off the returns while preserving the principal. The math that flows from the 4% rule is elegant and simple. Your retirement number equals your annual expenses divided by 0.04 or your annual expenses multiplied by 25. If you plan to spend $48,000 per year in retirement, $4,000 per month, your retirement number is $48,000 times 25, which equals $1.2 million. If you plan to spend $60,000 per year, $5,000 per month, your number is $1.5 million. If you plan to spend $72,000 per year, $6,000 per month, your number is $1.8 million. Write these numbers down, because they are the starting point for everything else in this video. But here is where the simple 4% rule calculation falls short for most American retirees. It assumes your expenses stay constant in real terms. It assumes Social Security remains stable. It assumes no catastrophic healthcare events. It assumes a market that cooperates with your withdrawal schedule. And it does not account for the specific completely predictable costs that are going to hit every American in retirement, whether they plan for them or not. This is why the 6 factors I am about to walk you through are so critical. Each one adds meaningfully to your retirement number, and ignoring any one of them creates a dangerous hole in your retirement plan. Let me give you the full picture before we break it down, factor by factor, a truly comprehensive retirement number for an average American couple retiring at 65 in 2026. That accounts for all 6 factors we are about to discuss, falls somewhere between $1.5 million and $1.8 million US dollars. For individuals, the range is typically $900,000 to $1.3 million. These are not pessimistic numbers. These are the numbers that give you a genuine 90% probability of financial security through a 30-year retirement. Less than these numbers, and your retirement security decreases rapidly. Now, let's understand exactly why. Factor number 1, healthcare costs. This is the single largest expense that most Americans fail to adequately account for in their retirement calculations. And the numbers, when you see them clearly, are genuinely alarming. According to Fidelity Investments, one of the largest retirement services providers in America, the average American couple retiring at age 65 in 2026 will spend approximately $315,000 US dollars on healthcare costs over the course of their retirement. That is $315,000. On top of housing, on top of food, on top of everything else in your retirement budget. Let me break down what that $315,000 actually covers, because the components are important. Medicare Part B. Premiums currently $174.70 per person per month will cost approximately $83,000 over a 20-year retirement for a couple. Medicare Part D. Prescription drug coverage, additional monthly premiums, plus significant out-of-pocket costs. Dental care, which Medicare does not cover at all, can run $2,000 to $5,000 per year in routine maintenance and thousands more for any significant dental work. Vision and hearing, also not covered by Medicare, add several thousand more per year. And long-term care nursing home or assisted living, which averages over $100,000 per year in America, must be planned for separately and completely. To account for health care, add at minimum $315,000 to your basic retirement number. For a couple spending $4,000 per month, this pushes your true retirement number from $1.2 million to at least $1.5 million. Factor number 2, inflation. And this is the factor that works silently, year after year, eroding the purchasing power of your retirement savings in a way that feels gradual until suddenly it feels catastrophic. The historical average inflation rate in America is approximately 3% per year. At 3% inflation, the purchasing power of your money cuts in half roughly every 24 years, which means that $4,000 per month in 2026, the amount you believe you need today, will require approximately $7,262 per month in 2051 to buy exactly the same things. If you have not built an inflation buffer into your retirement number, you are planning to live on a steadily declining real income throughout your retirement. The 4% rule does account for inflation, which is one of its strengths. The annual withdrawal is adjusted upward each year to maintain purchasing power. But what the 4% rule cannot protect against is healthcare inflation, which runs significantly higher than general inflation. Healthcare costs in America have historically increased at 5% to 6% per year, significantly faster than the general price level. This means the healthcare component of your retirement budget is eroding at nearly double the general inflation rate. A retiree spending $1,500 per month on healthcare in 2026 may be spending $3,250 per month on healthcare by 2046, even with Medicare coverage. To account for inflation properly, particularly healthcare inflation, your retirement number needs to be meaningfully higher than the basic 4% rule calculation suggests. Factor number 3. And this is the one I warned you about at the beginning. Longevity. You are going to live much longer than you think, and longer than the retirement planning assumptions most financial advisors use. The average 65-year-old American man today has a life expectancy of approximately 84 years. The average 65-year-old American woman to 87 years. But those are averages. If you are in good health at 65, your personal life expectancy is likely higher than the average. And if you are part of a couple, the probability that at least one of you will live past 90 is significant. Planning for a 20-year retirement when you or your spouse has a meaningful chance of living 30 years is not just optimistic. It is financially reckless. Here is what running out of money at age 82 looks like in real life. Your portfolio hits zero while you still have 10 or 12 years ahead of you. Social Security, if it still exists, at its current level, covers a fraction of your expenses. You become dependent on family members who are in their own peak earning and saving years. Your options narrow to whatever assistance the government provides. Your housing situation becomes precarious. The retirement that was supposed to be the reward for a lifetime of work becomes a source of fear and dependency. This is not a worst-case scenario. This is the retirement trajectory for millions of Americans who used optimistic longevity assumptions and inadequate savings targets. Plan for 30 years of retirement minimum. Build your number accordingly. Factor number 4. Social Security. Reliability. Most Americans build their retirement income plan around a specific Social Security benefit amount. And while Social Security is currently paying benefits and will almost certainly continue paying some level of benefits for the foreseeable future, there is a very real funding challenge that every American planning for retirement in 2026 needs to understand. The Social Security Trust Fund is currently projected to be depleted by approximately 2033 at that point. Social Security would only be able to pay approximately 77 cents for every dollar of promised benefit. Using incoming payroll tax revenue alone, that represents a potential 23% reduction in Social Security benefits for every American who is receiving them at that time. What does a 23% Social Security cut mean in real dollars for an average American retiree? The average monthly benefit is currently $1,907 US dollars. A 23% reduction brings that to approximately $1,469 per month. That is $438 less per month. $5,256 less per year. Over a 20-year retirement, that represents $105,120 in reduced lifetime income that was expected but did not arrive. I am not predicting that this will happen. Congress has addressed Social Security funding challenges before and will likely do so again. But the prudent approach, the approach that the top 5% of American retirement planners take, is to build a retirement plan that works even if Social Security pays less than currently promised, and that means a higher personal savings target. Factor number 5. Sequence of returns risk. This is the most technically complex of the 6 factors, but also one of the most consequential. It works like this. The order in which you experience investment returns during retirement matters enormously, even if the average return over your entire retirement is the same. If you retire into a strong bull market, your portfolio grows early in retirement, establishing a large base that can sustain future withdrawals even through later downturns. But if you retire into a bear market, you are forced to sell assets at depressed prices to fund your living expenses. That depletes your portfolio faster than any long-term average return calculation would suggest. And a depleted portfolio has less capital available to recover when the market eventually rises. Factor number 6. Your actual retirement lifestyle. This is the factor that feels obvious, but is almost universally underestimated. When most Americans calculate their retirement expenses, they base it on their current spending. But retirement is not just a continuation of your current lifestyle. It is the first period of your life where your time is completely your own. And what most people discover when that happens is that they want to do things, travel to places they have always wanted to see, spend meaningfully on grandchildren, pursue hobbies that require equipment or instruction or materials, support causes they care about. None of those things are in the basic survival expense calculation, and all of them cost real US dollars for a comfortable, not lavish retirement that includes some travel, some giving, some meaningful activities. Add at minimum $200,000 to $400,000 to your basic retirement number. Now, let me give you the complete retirement number with all 6 factors accounted for. We start with the basic 4% rule calculation. For a couple spending $4,000 per month, the base number is $1.2 million. Add the healthcare buffer for a couple, approximately $315,000. Add a 20% inflation buffer on top of the base, approximately $240,000. Add the longevity buffer for planning $295 rather than $85, approximately $150,000 additional. Add the Social Security risk buffer, approximately $100,000. Add the lifestyle buffer for meaningful retirement activities, approximately $200,000. Total, approximately $2.2 million for a comfortable couple's retirement. For a more modest retirement with fewer lifestyle extras, $1.50 to $1.8 million is the realistic range. Let me give you the retirement number by lifestyle, so you can find the range that applies to your situation. A basic retirement, covering essential expenses with limited discretionary spending, requires approximately $900,000 to $1.2 million for individuals and $1.20 to $1.5 million for couples. A comfortable retirement, covering essential expenses plus moderate travel, hobbies, and occasional giving, requires $1.30 to $1.8 million for individuals and $1.80 to $2.2 million for couples. A comfortable plus retirement with international travel, generous giving, and meaningful experiences requires $2 million plus for individuals and $2.50 to $3 million for couples. These are honest numbers, and knowing your honest number, however uncomfortable it is the first step toward building the retirement that is actually possible for you. Now, the good news, because after all of those numbers, you deserve some good news. Americans who start building toward these retirement numbers early, even modestly, can reach them through consistent investing in tax-advantaged accounts. An American who invests $600 per month starting at age 25 in a simple S&P 500 index fund, earning the historical 10% average annual return, will have approximately $3.8 million by age 65. Significantly more than the $1.8 million comfortable retirement target. The math works. It has always worked. The only thing that prevents ordinary Americans from reaching these numbers is not starting early enough, or not staying consistent long enough, or allowing the lies and misconceptions we discussed in the previous video to lead them to an inadequate savings rate. The fastest path to your retirement number runs through America's tax-advantaged retirement accounts. In 2026, you can contribute up to $7,000 per year to a Roth IRA, $8,000 if you are 50 or older, up to $23,000 to a 401k, $30,500 if you are 50 or older, and up to $4,150 to a health savings account if you have a qualifying high-deductible health plan. That is a combined $34,150 per year, potentially $42,654 Americans over 50 in completely tax-advantaged retirement saving. Every dollar of that $34,150 that you use grows either tax-deferred or completely tax-free. Maximizing these accounts is not just a good idea. It is the single most effective legal action any American can take to build their retirement number as efficiently as possible. And for managing sequence of returns, risk the danger that a market crash early in retirement depletes your portfolio before it can recover. The most effective solution is dividend investing. A portfolio of high-quality dividend-paying stocks and index funds generates income, regardless of what the market is doing with prices. When the market drops 40% in a recession, the dividends from Coca-Cola still arrive every quarter. The income from Johnson & Johnson still hits your account. A $1.5 million portfolio generating a 4% dividend yield produces $60,000 per year in income without selling a single share. Your principal remains intact. Your dividends continue arriving, and you have no need to sell depressed assets to fund your retirement expenses. Dividend income is retirement security that the market cannot take away. Here is how to calculate your personal retirement number right now, using everything we have covered in this video. Step 1. Estimate your monthly retirement expenses honestly. Not just your current expenses, but your retirement expenses. Include housing, whether a paid-off mortgage or rent, food, transportation, entertainment, travel, even if just modest, and add a conservative healthcare estimate of at least $1,500 per month for individuals or $2,500 for couples. Add it all up. Get your honest monthly retirement expense number. Step 2. Multiply your monthly number by 12 to get annual expenses. Multiply that annual number by 25 to get your base retirement portfolio requirement. Then add $200,000 for healthcare buffer if you are single, $315,000 if you are part of a couple. Add 20% to your base number as an inflation buffer. Add $100,000 as a Social Security reliability buffer. And add whatever lifestyle buffer feels appropriate for the retirement experiences you want to have. The total is your real retirement number. Write it down. This is your target. This is what every financial decision you make from this day forward should be building toward. Step 3. Calculate your retirement gap. Take your retirement number. Subtract your current savings. Subtract the projected value of your existing retirement accounts at your planned retirement age. Using a conservative 7% annual return assumption, the remaining gap is the amount you need to build through future contributions. Divide that gap by the number of months until your planned retirement. The result is the monthly contribution you need to make, starting now, to close your retirement gap. This is your number. This is what you need to invest every month. And if that number seems impossible, extend your retirement age by 2 or 3 years. The additional time dramatically changes what is achievable. Here is the most important thing I want every American to take away from this video. The shocking retirement number, $1.5 million, $1.8 million, or more, is not designed to discourage you. It is designed to give you a real target, because working toward a real target, even an ambitious one, is infinitely more effective than working toward an imaginary number that feels comfortable but will not actually get you where you need to go. The Americans who know their real retirement number and build their financial lives around reaching it will have the retirements they deserve. The Americans who prefer comfortable underestimates will discover the truth too late to do anything about it. You now know the real number. What you do with that knowledge, starting today, is entirely up to you. Let's bring it all together. How much you really need to retire with all 6 factors accounted for. Start with your annual expenses times 25 for the base number. Add the healthcare buffer, $315,000 for couples. Add a 20% inflation adjustment. Add a longevity buffer for planning $295. Add a Social Security reliability buffer. Add your lifestyle dream budget. The result, for most American couples, is between $1.50 and $2.2 million. For individuals, between $900,000 and $1.5 million. The path to that number runs through maxing your Roth IRA, capturing your full 401k match, building dividend income in a taxable account, and starting or continuing as early as possible. Here is my challenge to every American watching this video. Tonight, sit down with a pen and paper and calculate your real retirement number using the formula from this video. Monthly expenses times 12 times 25 plus the 6-factor buffers. Then look at what you have saved today. The gap between those numbers is your mission. Drop a comment below and tell me, what is your retirement number? I read every comment and will personally reply to help you figure out your monthly investment target to close the gap. Every good financial decision you make today, your future self will thank you for. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best time is right now. If this video helped you understand how much you really need to retire, hit like and share it with one American who needs to calculate their real number today. And if you want to know the 5 biggest retirement lies that Americans believe and the truths that can save your retirement, that video is right here. See you there.